Well, hi folks. Welcome to my virtual campfire. Hope you're having a great week. Today I want to talk a little bit about politics. I'm going to share a story with you in hopes that it will help you to think, kind of open your mind a little bit. How many of us think that we are closed-minded? I think most of us think, oh no, we're open-minded. I think if we're honest with each other and with ourselves, that we are pretty closed-minded. We're opinionated about a lot of things, and we resist people that push back against our beliefs, whether they're true beliefs or not. We believe them, so it's got to be true for everybody. And that takes me to the politics thing. How do you feel about the election results? I mean, personally, I'm happy, very happy with the results of the election. But there's a lot of people on the other side that are just miserable. I mean, they're beyond sad. They are hysterical. And I think that I can kind of understand that. No amount of yelling, no amount of logic, nothing is going to change people if they are so firmly held on to something. And that goes for you and me, both of us, all of us. If we believe something so firmly and we're not even willing to have an honest conversation, we can't ask anybody to change. Reminds me of a fishing trip I went on. Just bear with me on this. So I go to this place in Canada, fly out fishing trip, beautiful lodge. It's the very first fishing trip of the season. It's June, early June. The ice has just left the water. We have to fly in on a float plane to this remote lake, and I've got a native Indian guide that's with me named Bob. And Bob's purpose, his objective, is to get me to catch fish. Well, I'm a pretty good fisherman. I can read the water, even if it's a strange lake. I've been around, got a lot of miles on me, and patterns, I can read patterns. But Bob is the expert. He's the Indian guide. So we land the plane, get in the boat. Bob takes me, my cameraman, and himself out to this lake. Small, little, beautiful lake. And we anchor in the middle of this lake. And I'm thinking, why are we doing this? He goes, good place to fish. Okay. And we fished and didn't catch anything. And as time's going on, I'm going, something's not right here. This guy hadn't fished here all year. I mean, it's been winter time. He's just now starting to fish. Last year they were here. Yeah, but this is this year. This was this summer, not last summer. And I'm trying to have a diplomatic conversation to say, can we kind of maybe try a different spot? No, they'll be here. They'll be here. It's like the saying, broken clock is right twice a day. Well, Bob, he was a nice enough guy, but every time I tried to push him to make a suggestion, can you change? Can we move to a different spot? Just try it. We can come back here. He'd have none of it. And I'm going, I'm paying this guy money. I don't want to be a dick. I want him to try to get me to catch some fish. So you know what? I'm going to lie. And I did. I said, Bob, I got to go to the bathroom. I got to pee. He said, well, just pee off the side of the boat. And I've done it 100 times. I said, no, I lose my balance and I don't want to do that. Can you run me up to the shore? Just, putts over there and I'll get out and I'll pee on the shore and then we'll come back. And the reason was because I saw this area on the shoreline with these little cattails sticking up. I don't know, every 30 feet or so, little stick growing out of the water. Shallow water. Beautiful lake. Again, we're the first people there. And so Bob takes me over there to, quote unquote, to pee. We're going through this shallow water, and I got my Polaroid glasses on so I can kind of see down in the water, and I took a lure, and we're just drifting along, and I flipped it right there next to one of those cattails, and I saw a flash of a fish. Now we're putting along, and the next one, the flash of a fish. And the third one, we're going closer and closer to the shore, and I flipped it, this fish, and I caught him. I said, shut the thing off, shut them up, this is where the fish are. And you know what Bob did? He got mad. Literally. He gave me the silent treatment. It's like, I'm the guide, you go pee. And he basically said, don't you have to pee? I said, I can hold it. And so we fished and caught a whole bunch of fish. I had my TV camera, we're videotaping, and Bob threw a hissy fit like a little baby. We caught fish, but he was slow, and the fish bite, he didn't. It was, I want him to look good. I'm trying to help people look good. I really am. As the wingman, I don't want you to make mistakes, and I don't have all the answers. But when you're locked onto something, whether it's a political party or a place to fish in a lake, you are locked on. You know what that means? It means you're locked out. You're locked out of anything else that goes against your bias. And for me, it was terrible. As a TV host, my job was not to catch fish. I mean, fish are part of it, an important component of it. But I want the other person to look good. To look good, they have to be happy. They have to be successful. And we needed fish. This is the way that I work with my dealers that I work with. My dealers are typically very smart people. They have smart salespeople, but we all get into these patterns. And I'll bet you get into patterns in your life where you're latched on, I know this is going to work. It has to work. It worked last time. You know, look at football teams. They have to constantly be adapting. They have strengths one week. They'll get, oh my gosh, they won 4 games in a row. And then they just fall apart. But they're doing the exact same thing. You have to adapt. I believe you have to adapt. Be willing to go, we're getting our butts handed to us. The fish aren't biting. The voters aren't buying what we're trying to sell them. We need to change. But what do people do? What do political parties do? Instead of saying, oh my God, there was a mandate on November the 5th. There was. We need to adapt. We need to make some changes. What do we see happening? Nope. We are furious that the people didn't vote for us, so we're going to double down. We're going to shove it down their throats, and they're going to like it. We just have to stay here long enough. We're going to bring more people in. We're going to break more laws. We're going to take more of your rights away, and they're going to change. They're going to get smart like us. Or, like a democracy, a republic, democracy, you listen to the people, and then you adapt to them, don't you? Or do you be like Bob, the Indian fishing guide that said, well, they're here. And they probably would be there. If I stayed all summer long, I'm sure I'd catch some fish, but I had about 3 days. I wanted to have a good trip, and I wanted Bob to look good. So I did my best. I never went back again, but I'll never forget that experience with Bob, the fishing guide. They're here. This is a great place to fish. I believe, I'm hopeful that some of this makes sense. I think you have opinions, and they're not always right. They're not. And neither are mine. And I could have just blanked like Bob when we went up there and I'm flipping my worm next to each one of those cattails. I got lucky. But that luck came from experience, I think, and willing to make adjustments. I don't care who's right. I'm here for an objective. My objective doing a TV show was we had to catch fish and have a good time. What is the objective of our country? Not your personal objective, not my personal objective. I believe we need to unwrap from our selfish what we want. Oh my God, we better have, more EVs, less EVs. We need more of this, less of that. I think we need to look at what is best. And I, with all my heart and my brain, believe that that's what happened on November the 5th. I believe that good people on both sides have very strong, passionate opinions, but the majority spoke. And doesn't it make sense for somebody on the other side to go, we might want to listen to them? But I've talked to people that have lost friendships, lost relationships because of one person voted for one party and one person voted for the other. It's a sad state, I believe, when we are divided so horribly. And what happens? Instead of compromise, instead of going, you know what, we need to rethink this. We double down. We double down, I think it's on stupidity sometimes. Is it arrogance? Is it stupidity? I don't think Bob was stupid. I just think he was latched onto that place in the middle of the lake where he had caught fish one time. It's like having a play in football. Well, that play worked. Well, let's run it every time. See how that works for you. Does any of this make sense? I know that this is not your typical YouTube channel about RVing and camping. But as the wingman, I like to think that I bring things up that make people think, hopefully get you to think, and hopefully explore other possibilities, and even change your mind from time to time. I'm a hard-headed son of a bitch. I know it. And I think I know everything. But at the same time, I balance that with going, hey, wingman, you're an idiot. What did you miss? And I miss a lot of stuff. But I'm not afraid to admit it. My encouragement to you. First off, I want to encourage you to like this video. Maybe drop a comment down below, give it a thumbs up, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. But I encourage you to try to keep an open mind, especially if you are firmly convinced of something. Next time the election may change. Who knows? But I'm gonna hope, and I'm gonna provide my support for the people who have received a mandate. And it was a mandate on November the 5th. So I don't want to get into politics and, let me talk about the facts. And the people on the left are going to say, he's a convicted felon, 34-time. That's a fact. And because of that fact, instead of backing up and going, you know what? He may have been convicted of that, but who convicted him? What were the people like? What were the circumstances? We don't want to go there. I believe that we're better off if we think about we're sitting around a campfire. Like this is a virtual campfire. Around a real campfire, I don't think you'd get into an argument like we see on social media. If you would, you wouldn't be invited to stay around this campfire very long. But keeping an open mind, holding firm to your beliefs, you can do both. But listen to the cues. Don't just anchor up in the middle of the lake because that thing worked last year. Look at the possibilities. Move. Make adjustments. That's how people win ball games. That's how you win life. Don't make the same stupid mistakes over and over and over. That's stupid. I think we can all be a little bit stupid from time to time, me included. So I'm going to leave it there. Sorry for going on so long, but I had to tell you that fishing story because I think it kind of applies to other things in life. Again, give the video a thumbs up. Let me hear from you. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. Be safe. Have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home. Bye-bye, everybody.